I'm Chef David Jahnke, and today I want to show you how to use, how to move, and how to hold a chef knife, and also how to move and how to hold our guide hands properly to apply cutting techniques. For our professional cutting techniques, we have a way how we should hold our, basically, let's say, most used knife, which is the chef knife. I have a few videos already uploaded before, for example, how to choose one or how to sharp one, because of course it's very important to have a very sharp chef knife, always, or in general, all your knives always should be sharp. So it's very important also how do we hold it, because it's the way how it makes it easier for us to not lose too much energy, or because your arm get good tired very easy. It's also because it's a safety reason. It's because it's safety. When we have our fingers holding the right way our hand, it's very difficult that we can cut ourselves, and that's very important. Another reason is too, of course, to have the perfect distance you're applying when you do your cutting techniques, so we have the exact size of our product which we are trying to apply cutting technique to. To hold the chef knife, there's kind of like two ways of holding it, because it depends how you're going to use it. I have other videos which show cutting techniques, and there you will see the individual use of each. One would be, for example, if I have to lift up my knife. If I have to lift up the front part of my knife, like I want to cut something into onions, lines or something, in that case I'm holding my knife with the grip very strong, the whole hand, and I put my thumb on the top part of the knife, sometimes even go so close that I would go a little bit to the blade and have it on the top of the blade. That gives me a correct straight control for straight down cuts. Like I said, like I'm cutting an onion in dice, which you can also look up that video, and that's how I would hold it in that case. If I'm going to make fast cutting techniques, chiffonnet for example, in that case I don't want to lift up my blade to keep the cutting technique safer. That way I will pull it or I will push it, either. So in that case I would even go and I even would hold my blade with my thumb and with my second finger, as you can see, and that way I have a little bit more control about the balance and the general of the knife, because now I'm using basically the center of the knife to keep the control of it. That's how I'm using it in that case, no? So either if I'm going to keep it on the board, I would use it like this way, or for this kind of technique, or for pushing technique. If I have to lift up the knife, the blade completely, then I'm using this grip where I have my thumb on the top to get the support and the force, the power of it. So I just showed you how to hold the knife, but what about our other hand? We call it like kind of like the guide hand. Very common is the claw. That's the nice position. It's not very comfortable. You have to practice it because it's not a natural position, but it's the best position, because when we use the claw, we can cut ourselves, which is of course a big benefit, because our fingers are always behind the knife, as we can see. That's why we have to point the fingertips to the inside, to the center of the palm of the hand, and we can use the middle finger, which is of course the longest finger, gives us the longest distance, but you also can switch it a little bit to make it more comfortable, because your hand more natural is like that, and actually use your tip finger, your second finger, and after thumb, which of course works very nice too, because it gives you the guidance. If I don't move my hand, I don't make a cutting distance until I move my hand. You can even slide your hand on the board, or you can also walk kind of with your thumb, lifting it up to make the distance or helping it to support. So that's how we move the guiding hand to our knife. So when we cut, we always have the same distance we apply. Just as additional tip, before you always start cutting, always make sure your cutting board is safe. I always put a wet towel below it, that's one thing. Also, don't waste your food ingredients you're cutting with. It's very nice to practice with carrots or with potatoes or other solid items in the beginning, but always make sure you're going to use them later, so we don't going to use food. I hope you enjoyed my video and you learned something new. I was able to show you something new. My Chef David Jahnke, and it was a pleasure to be with you today, and thank you for watching my video, and be back soon.